This morning in court, I heard from an interesting couple. Did you know that issues with insecurity make people much more likely to divorce? Insecurity was at the root of the issues that this couple brought to divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
I have here today Sakina Green and Zhivago White. I love that name, by the way. You two have been together around 9 years, married for 3, but you don't want to be married anymore. Mrs. Green, you say that the reason you don't want to be married anymore is that Mr. White's insecurity has just destroyed your union. Why don't you tell me about that?
I don't know where his insecurity came from. I mean, we've been together since we grew up together, basically, and I don't understand where it came from. I mean, we do everything together, and I mean, it just came out of nowhere.
What kind of things does he do because he's insecure?
He'll ask, who are you on the phone with? He'll ask, like, where were you? Knowing I don't have any friends. I don't hang out with people, and he knows that, and it's just driving me insane.
To me, I'm not very insecure. It's just that when you show me something different than what you normally would do, that's when I approach that.
Give me an example of something that she would do differently that would cause you to question her.
Well, first it starts off, she gets a ride from one of her coworkers. Okay, instead of her telling me that she felt like this guy had a crush or anything about it, she went and told my sister. Never brought it up to me, never had a conversation with me about it.
But it was nothing.
Ms. Green, I'm gonna get to you, go ahead.
Never had a conversation with me about it. I go to meet the guy. I go to her job one day and she introduced me to the guy. The guy gives me, pretty much act like I wasn't there. Didn't acknowledge me or anything. I didn't know anything about her constantly getting rides from him. I only thought it was one time.
It was only 2 times.
Mrs. Green, that's 2.
So to me,
3, you're in the seat.
So to me, it's just that if you've seen nothing was wrong with it, then why wouldn't you tell me?
Ms. Green, he says that, you didn't tell him about this coworker, you didn't tell him about the rides, and that makes him suspicious because if it was innocent, why not tell him?
I told him I got a ride. He just started being insecure after he saw the guy. He seen
Was it cute?
He is. He's a handsome guy, and I told him after he asked me, I see a lot of handsome people all day, but I don't have to mention it to him every day that I see someone attractive. And when he met him, he usually reach out and, give his hand, and he didn't. And I thought that was odd, and I'm just like, maybe he thinks he's attractive too, and he's like, don't get a ride from him anymore.
I don't think that guy's attractive. I think I look better than that guy, if you ask me. I'm not,
Okay. So, it's all right. I wasn't questioning your fineness, okay? So we're okay with that. Do you really think, though, that she's ever had the time or the opportunity to cheat with this guy?
Yes.
Give me a time when you believe they may have been off together.
When they're in no car together. She never tells, why wouldn't you bring it up?
Does she get home on time?
If the bus is late, then you're late. But if you're in the car with a guy, you can just say that you're on the bus, but you're not on the bus. You were in the car with the guy.
So that gives you about 15 minutes to fool around.
Yeah. It does.
Now, Mr. White, I'm gonna try to work with you here. So give me another example of something that she's done that made you feel like she might be cheating on you.
After that incident, she pretty much gave her number out. To another guy, and told me the reason why she gave her number out is because I won't let her get rides from the guy at her job anymore.
No, that's not the reason.
You explain it to me.
The reason being, he said in front of my daughter that I had a boyfriend. And I can give you an incident.
Was he referencing this guy from work?
Yes.
That's only because she
Did you do that in front of your daughter?
Yes, but I was mad at the time. It kind of blurted out because she told me, yeah, when I see this guy walks down the hall, he gives me butterflies. It would be a...
She said that?
Yes.
Did you say that?
Yes.
I did.
And that it would be
No.
What is wrong with you?
He made me feel the way he was saying it. He was more aggressive. He wasn't saying it so sweet. If he would have, I wouldn't have said those things. And I told him that. The way he come at me is the way that I respond.
Hang on. What prompted you to tell your husband that this other guy gave you butterflies?
He was acting like I was already in a relationship with this guy.
So you thought you would fuel the fire just for the heck of it.
Make him.
She didn't stop there. She said that it would be a fantasy to be with this man.
Did you do that?
And
I did. I did.
Oh my goodness.
The reason
gracious.
I did because I thought that this would make him feel better about me being with him, because I'm like, it's never gonna happen, and he's making it seem like it already have happened.
Now,
so.
Mrs. Green, you would not feel good about being with somebody if he was telling you, yeah, this woman is the woman of my dreams and my fantasy. That would not make you feel better. That would not make you feel better. Especially since he knows you see him every day. If you're fantasizing.
But I don't see him every day.
But still, you understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
It made no sense.
So.
Is it just this one guy, or do you have concerns about her fidelity in general?
Just generally, because it's the way that she carrying herself. Before, she carried herself as she's my wife. You know, she ain't got time for it. You can't talk to her. You know, you're not a coworker. You don't need to be my friend. You know, that's how she would approach things. Now, all of a sudden, any guy that's cute or give her the time of day, she got to give them the time of conversation. And I
don't.
Okay, give me an example of that.
Just recently on Friday when I go to pick her up, she's on the bus, she gets off the bus, this guy talks to her. Instead of her brushing the guy off, she continues to walk with the guy, take a whole nother route to her sister's house. You know, instead of her coming up the front way.
Were you following her around in the car?
No, she told me. She told me. So instead of her walking up to the front, she goes through the alley to avoid certain people from seeing her. So if you're doing all that, why is my wife in the alley with a guy that's not her husband in the first place?
Let's find that out.
You pretty much put the marriage on pause and let me go try this to see if it's something better. And then I'll come back to you if I don't find anything better.
Now, Ms. Green, tell me you never said anything like that to him. Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Now, what were you doing walking a new way home down an alley with a guy that wasn't your husband? And you already know he got a thing about you cheating on him. Well,
it was just an innocent walk. I was going that way. To me, it was nothing.
But you changed your route home.
Well, it's the same route. It's the same route. It's just like a few feet from the front. You can go through the front or the back.
The street in the alley is not a few feet. The alley is when you don't want to be seen.
Mrs. Green, I'm going to tell you something. I really don't believe you're doing anything, but I think you're being awfully silly. I think you are not respecting your man's comfort zone. I don't think my husband my husband trusts me implicitly. I leave town for 3 days. He don't hear from me. I don't hear from him. Ain't nobody worried about nothing. You know, I get home and, hey, baby, no, I didn't know you were coming home today. Yeah, all of that. We trust each other implicitly. I don't think he'd like me jaunting down an alley with a guy from the bus. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even on just a safety tip, you don't jaunt down the alley with a guy from the bus. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You say, however, in Mr. White's mind, he is so in tune to the fact that you might be cheating that he times your comings and goings. Why don't you tell me what he's doing with respect to that?
When I get off from work, he'll text me or call me and say, oh, where are you? I say, oh, I'm walking to the train, because we share one car, so it makes it more difficult for me to get around quick. So I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm on my way to the train. And he say, okay, well, call me when you're close so I can meet you. And I say, okay. So if I don't call right away, he'll say, where are you now? I said, I'm still waiting for the train. He said, oh, you barely getting into the train? I'm like, yeah, I missed the train, so I didn't get on that first train. I missed it. He said, oh, okay. And it's like, you should have been here. That's
Okay.
what he'll call.
Do you get mad if she misses the train?
It's not that. It's because of the guy that she talked to. She said that she gets on the train and on the bus with him. He will meet her at a bus stop so they can have a conversation on their way home.
No, I did not say that.
Yes, and the guy told me.
Is this the same guy that she was in the alley with?
Nope. This is a whole nother guy.
You know, I think if you bought her a car, your troubles would be over.
Yes.
It always seems to be about transportation. The guy from the work giving her a lift, the guy from the bus walking down the alley, the guy on the train she has too much conversation with. You know, get her a little car.
But she had the car. I used to be the one on the bus. But since I changed my schedule and changed everything around, because I want to buy her a better working car than mine.
But let me ask you this, and I think you're a sincere dude. I don't think I don't think you're driving all the way down the center of the road. You're on the berm a little bit, but you're not off into the ditch yet. Do you really think that she's cheating on you, or are you concerned about the possibility of her being attracted to the people that she meets in her comings and goings?
I'm not really worried about her cheating on me. I don't think she cheated on me, but at the route and the way she's going, I feel like it will happen.
So that's what I said. You are concerned about the potential that if she talks to enough guys and on the bus, train, or wherever, that she would be tempted to do the wrong thing.
Well, she's already was tempted to me because she said us being together for 9 years and her never, you know, being involved with anyone else, she makes me feel like she just wants to go try it and pretty much put the marriage on pause and let me go try this to see if it's something better. And then I'll come back to you if I don't find anything better. Like,
now, Ms. Green, tell me you never said anything like that to him.
After I was already ready to get the divorce, I really wanted him to want to leave too. Because after the trip we made to San Diego for my daughter's birthday, he mentioned it in front of her, saying that I had a boyfriend. It hurt my feelings.
Okay. And I understand, and I want to talk to you both about that. Is that the single thing that prompts you to want to divorce him?
Yes.
That's foolish, okay? Do you think Zhivago had a real reason to be jealous? Vote now. Call 855-70-DIVORCE. Make your vote count. Call 855-70-DIVORCE and get your exclusive offers. If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mrs. Green, the thing he said about you having a boyfriend in front of your daughter was a horrible thing to do. Just terrible. Is that the single thing that prompts you to want to divorce him?
Yes.
That's foolish, okay? I'm going to tell you it's foolish. Now, I'm not saying he's got it all together, because he's got something working up there that's not quite clicking on all cylinders, and I'm going to talk to him about that in a minute. But before I talk to him about that, I want to talk to you about being a silly little girl. Don't be a silly little girl. People say bad things to other people sometimes when they don't mean them. Some people do the wrong thing. How old are you?
30.
He's 30 years old, you know, just now finished cooking. And he was hurt, and he was angry, and he shouldn't have said it. He did something stupid. Haven't you ever done anything dumb? Are you really sure that you're going to go through the next 80 years of your life never having said something monstrously foolish? You know what I'm saying? Are you crying because you reliving the hurt that you had?
Yes. Thank you.
it was a foolish thing for you to say to him, that guy gives me fantasies and butterflies. It could have been a very hurtful thing to somebody you loved, but it's not worth leaving you over.
Right.
And I don't think what he said is worth
But
you
he
leaving
did
him over.
say, he
I
said,
understand.
yeah.
I understand.
I understand that it was wrong what I said.
I had someone in authority over me. You said, you know, she's a moron. She's stupid. She's 3 years old. She doesn't talk. She's a moron. She's going to end up being a hooker. It to me. When a person that I love dearly today, because things happened, he said it and had nothing to do with anything. And clearly, I'm not a bag lady. Did you know what I'm saying? People say harsh and horrible things, and you can't define people by that one act. You with me on that?
Yeah.
Do you understand why she was so upset?
Yeah, I understand. I don't do those things in front of my daughter.
You did.
I did it.
You
but-
got to accept that. You got to apologize for it. And you've got to make sure that she understands that you understand how grossly incorrect that was.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then after you do that, I'm going to ask you to join hands with me and take a quick little saunter down the back of your brain. And we're going to find out where the left turn sign got missed. Because you missed the left turn somewhere. And you're somewhere you don't need to be. I think you love her. I think she is a good wife. And I think it's a fear of a maybe that is killing you. And it really doesn't need to. In divorce court, couples tell me everything about their relationships. Want to share your experience? Join the conversation on our Twitter page at Divorce Court. On Facebook, check out other fans and their intimate issues. You know everybody has something to say about love. What's on your mind? If you live your entire life in fear of what might happen, you will never live at all. There is a possibility that a meteor will hit her. There is a possibility of all kinds of things happening. You are going to invite the very leaving that you're so afraid of by envisioning the possibility that some guy might catch her fancy while she's on the bus somewhere. You can't live your life that way. If you continue to pursue those kinds of fears, more accurately, allow those kinds of fears to pursue you, you will end up ending the marriage you're trying to save. Be relaxed with it. Be comfortable with it. Know that if she meets Mr. Wonderful on the bus, that she loves you enough to stay with you. And if we find out in some alternate universe that, in fact, she does fall for Mr. Wonderful, that you're man enough to handle it. That you're man enough not to let the debris from whatever fallout may happen fall on your daughter, because she's more important than anybody you know, anybody you've ever met. Be man enough that your wife is comfortable in her own home and with her own man, that she can raise her daughter in a comfortable and safe and strong foundation. Don't live the life of a frightened man. Live the life of a confident man. A confident man doesn't worry about the cat on the bus. He just doesn't. You don't need to. You're too good, you're too handsome, you're too smart, you got it too much together, you're too kind, and she loves you too much. And if this weirdness happens, it will not destroy you. So don't go looking for that 1% chance of a problem and miss that 99% of a beautiful life that you could have. And you need to forgive this man. You need to forgive this man for what he said. She'll get over it, and you need to get over it, because you're good people, you're good together, and you ought to just, everybody relax, go home, and do what you do best. And y'all know what I mean. This matter is adjourned. You know, people tell me all the time that they wouldn't be so jealous if they didn't care so much. Here's what people don't understand. Jealousy is not a sign of caring. It is a symptom of insecurity.